The year is 2014. Deep in the heart of Ecuador, some of the world's toughest endurance athletes have gathered for the Adventure Racing World Championship. The challenge? A grueling 435-mile race through treacherous jungles, towering mountains, and rushing rivers. For Team Peak Performance, a group of elite Swedish athletes, this was just another test of their physical and mental strength. But what they didn't know was that their journey would change forever, not because of the race itself, but because of an unexpected companion who would defy the odds to stay by their side. It was during one of their quick rest stops that Mikael Lindnord, the team's captain, noticed a stray dog nearby. His fur was matted, his body thin, and his eyes filled with a quiet resilience. He looked hungry and tired. Mikael, moved by the sight of this lone dog, reached into his pack and offered him a meatball. The dog hesitated for only a moment before eating, his tail wagging slightly. The team thought little of it and continued their journey, assuming that the stray would soon go his own way. But what happened next was extraordinary. The dog started following them, through mud, over rocks, and across streams. Step by step, mile by mile, he stayed close, never once falling behind. The bond had been formed. Over the next few days, the team faced some of the harshest conditions imaginable. Exhaustion set in, and the race pushed them to their limits. But no matter how difficult the path became, the stray dog, who they soon named Arthur, was always there. He climbed steep hills, waded through deep mud, and endured the sweltering heat alongside them. The team had a decision to make. They were in a competition where every ounce of energy and every bit of focus mattered. Carrying extra weight, especially an unplanned companion, could slow them down. But abandoning Arthur was never an option. He had chosen them, and now they had chosen him. The race continued. Arthur's determination was unshaken, but one particular challenge would test his limits. A long river crossing lay ahead. The team prepared their kayaks, knowing they had to leave Arthur behind for this leg of the race. It was too dangerous. But as they pushed off from the shore, Arthur, desperate to stay with his newfound family, leaped into the freezing water. He paddled furiously, struggling against the current. Mikael watched in shock. This dog was willing to risk everything just to stay with them. That was the moment Mikael made a decision. Ignoring the risks, he reached out and pulled Arthur onto the kayak. The team made space for him, and together they continued down the river. Arthur, now soaking wet but safe, curled up in the kayak and rested. He was no longer just a stray. He was part of the team. After days of relentless trekking, the finish line was finally in sight. Team Peak Performance, exhausted but exhilarated, crossed the final stretch with Arthur trotting proudly beside them. It was more than just a victory in the race. It was a triumph of loyalty, love, and the unbreakable bond between humans and animals. But as the race ended, a new challenge arose. Arthur couldn't simply return to the streets. Mikael knew he couldn't leave him behind. He had to bring him home. Getting Arthur to Sweden wasn't easy. Bureaucratic hurdles, quarantine protocols, and health checks all stood in the way. But Mikael was determined. He fought tirelessly to get Arthur the necessary approvals, and after weeks of waiting, the day finally arrived. Arthur stepped off the plane onto Swedish soil, no longer a stray, but a beloved member of Mikael's family. He now had a warm home, a comfortable bed, and all the love he could ever need. No longer surviving on scraps, Arthur spent his days running through green fields, playing in the snow, and resting at Mikhail's side. Arthur's story became an inspiration to people all over the world. His tale of resilience and love was turned into a book. Arthur, the dog who crossed the jungle to find a home, spreading his incredible journey far beyond the race itself. His loyalty touched the hearts of millions, proving that sometimes the most unexpected friendships are the strongest ones. Arthur's story reminds us that kindness, even in its smallest form, a simple meatball, can change a life forever. And sometimes, when we least expect it, we find a friend who is willing to follow us to the ends of the earth. Arthur may have started as a stray, but he became a symbol of love, resilience, and loyalty. His journey with Team Peak Performance wasn't just about an adventure race, it was about a friendship that defied the odds. And that is the incredible true story of Arthur, the dog who chose his family and never let them go. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more heartwarming true stories. And if you ever come across an animal in need, remember, sometimes they just need one small act of kindness to change their life forever.